Hello students, today I will give you some of those techniques, some of those tricks which are really gonna help you in speaking English practice. Okay, so how to practice English speaking, that is a major question, that is a major problem which everyone is asking to me every day. Okay, so today I will give you a solution for it. Okay, so number one, speak in front of camera. Try to speak in front of camera. Watch the shape of your mouth, and watch facial expressions. Pronouncing words correctly has a lot to do with getting your mouth in the right shape to make the necessary sound. By speaking in front of a camera, you can see what your mouth and face are doing and correct what is wrong before it becomes ingrained. Okay, so the mirror also creates an illusion that you have a partner, so which can help build your confidence without the stress of talking to a native speaker. Okay, so that's gonna help you a lot. Work on sounding more conversational or natural, not being grammatically perfect every day, not being grammatically perfect or correct every time. Okay, so try mimicking the musicality and rhythm of native speakers. How the native speakers are trying to speak, you have to mimic them, you have to copy them, you have to imitate them. Okay, number two, read aloud to yourself. This gives you a chance to practice reading and speaking. There are plenty of words in speaking that are spelled differently that they sound. Reading aloud is a different kind of speaking practice. Reading aloud, that is very good, that is very helpful. Okay, so reading aloud is a different kind of speaking practice that is really very much helpful. In that, it helps you better understand how words are written in English as well as how they are spoken. Choose a story or an article on your reading level to get the best speaking practice. You want to be able to read the words fairly smoothly without having to stop frequently to stop something off. If you are reading a dialogue, try to say the parts that characters would speak using the same tone they would use if they were speaking the words. For example, if a character is asking a question, speak with a rising tone at the end of the sentence to indicate a question. Okay, so how the characters are trying to speak, you have to practice in the same way. Okay, so that is number two. Number three is listen to spoken English and repeat it back. Play a video with a native speaker talking in English. Okay, so you have to play a video with a native speaker talking in English. After each sentence, pause the video and repeat the sentence aloud. Rewind the video and listen to the native speaker again and again. You have to repeat it again by yourself. When you get one sentence right, then move on to the next. It can take some time to get through even the shortest video like this, but you will get a lot of good English practice. You may have to bring longer, more complex sentences off into shorter phrases at first so you can get them right. Okay. Fourth one is narrate your actions. Whatever you are doing, say what you are thinking, what you are doing aloud in English. Say what you are doing or thinking aloud in English. As you go about your day, pretend you are a character in a novel and tell your reader about your every move, about your every action. Don't worry about getting everything exactly correct grammatically, but you have just work on expressing yourself and describing actions. You have to express just what you are doing, what you are thinking, okay, all the day. For example, you might say, I am getting ready to go to work. Now I am taking out the trash. I see clouds in the sky. I hope that it won't rain today. I am looking forward to playing soccer later. You can use these to practice verb sentences or conjugation as well. For example, you might say, I am taking out the trash. My brother is not taking out the trash. He will take out the trash next week. So this is how you have to practice every day, every single day. You have to utilize your time. You have to use your day. Okay, so that is fourth. Next, you have to remember this trick also, that is fifth. Memorize a poem or speech and recite it. You have to memorize a poem, or you have to memorize a speech, and then you have to recite it. At first, try to find a certain poem, or try to find a certain speech you love. Okay, so find out a certain poem or speech you love, you like. Okay, you love to speak those speech. Okay, go line by line to memorize the passage you have chosen. Go line by line, just go through it. Just this act is already helping you become more familiar with English. Repeat the same passage again and again until you have memorized the whole thing. Then when you have got a minute or two, then recite the passage aloud. You have to practice, you have to recite the passage loudly. Okay, so you can even do small parts of the passage when you have just a few seconds. As for example, suppose you have decided to memorize the poem Trees by Joyce Kilmer. Whenever you have a couple of seconds, you might say aloud, I think that I shall never see a poem lovely as a tree. Okay, so that is fifth. Next, you have to remember this technique also, that is sixth. Test out tongue twisters. These are very, very important to help you improve your English speaking practice. Okay, so your pronunciation will be perfect and correct if you practice every day these tongue twisters. Use these tongue twisters every day. Practice these tongue twisters every day. Use these silly phrases to practice problematic pronunciation. Tongue twisters are typically troublesome sentences that stress certain sounds. These phrases can be difficult even for native speakers, so don't beat yourself up if you have a hard time with them. Here's a few to get you started. She sells by the seesaw. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? He threw 3 free throws. We surely shall see the sun shine soon. So these are some of those tongue twisters, those sentences which are going to help you to improve your English pronunciation. Okay. Next, you have to do is to record yourself speaking. Then you have to do is to record yourself speaking and play it back. Okay, so read a passage in a book aloud and then listen to yourself speaking. Any sort of voice recorder will work for this. Most smartphones have recording apps. It can be awkward to listen to your recorded voice, but it will help you recognize issues with your pronunciation. If you have done some mistake, if you made some mistake, then it's gonna help you to correct your pronunciation, to correct your English words or sentences. Okay, so if you have a recording of native English speaker reading the same passage, play your recording first, then play theirs. Note where your pronunciation differs, so you will know that how you have made a mistake, then you have to correct those mistakes. Next, you have to remember this trick, that is 8th. Sing aloud with English lyrics. That is really gonna help you to improve your English speaking practice. Okay, so learn the lyrics to English language songs that you like. Okay, remember this thing, that you have to like the song, you have to like the lyrics, you have to like the music. Okay, otherwise it's not gonna help you to improve it. Okay, so popular music can be great because you will also pick up some of those slang and casual speech that most people use in our daily life. The rhythm, the rhyme, repetitiveness also make the lyrics easier to memorize. Listening to English language music is a good way to immerse yourself in the language. Okay, so initially you might find that you don't understand all the words, but as you continue to listen, you will start understanding more and more. If you are having trouble understanding the lyrics, then search for them online. Then you can read along as you listen to the song. Okay, so that's gonna help you a ton. Okay, so next you have to remember that dictate in English instead of writing. That is ninth tech trick. Dictate in English instead of writing. Okay, if your word processing app has a dictation function, use it to practice. Okay, so many smartphones including the iPhone also have dictation apps that you can use for this purpose. If the app shows the word you meant to say, you will know your pronunciation is clear. The neat thing is you can also see your words in print, so you can read them back and check for grammatical errors or mistakes. If you have a virtual assistant such as Siri or Alexa, you can set its default language to English. Then you will have to speak to it in English to get it to do things for you. How the virtual assistant understands what you have said also helps you improve your English pronunciation. That's really gonna help you to improve. Okay, to improve your English pronunciation. And 10th point is watch a show in English with subtitles reading along. Okay, so try to say the words at the same time as the person on the screen. Although this can be difficult if there is a lag in the subtitles, this will help you with the speed of your speech as well as your pronunciation. This is really gonna help you. Try to keep in mind that subtitles don't always show you the exact words the person on the screen is saying. This is especially likely in movies where the actors frequently deviate from the script. Okay, so even if the words aren't exactly the same, it's still good practice. Next point is commentate a sports broadcast. Okay, so put the game on mute and make the play-by-play yourself in English. This gives you a running commentary, similar to if you were narrating yourself as you go about your day. It's also a good way to learn a lot of your vocabulary that's really specific to whatever sports you are watching. Next, you can also try to translate a sports broadcast in your native language into English. Translating is a much more advanced skill because you have to be able to listen and to speak at the same time, but it will definitely improve your speaking skills. Last trick that is really very much important, that is the most important trick today I am going to tell you, that is practice shadow reading. Okay, get a transcript and read along as someone is speaking. For this exercise, you will need both a written transcript and a video of a person saying those exact words. When you start the video and the person starts speaking, speak aloud along with them using the transcript. Try to mimic their speed, rhythm, and speaking style as closely as possible. This is a more advanced practice because many native speakers will speak much faster than you are used to. Okay, so it can be very much easier, super easy, if you find a prepared speech. People making speeches tend to speak more slowly and distinctly than in casual speech. Okay, so this practice differs from reading subtitles aloud because subtitles aren't meant to be a verbatim transcript. Okay, so often the subtitles merely provide the general idea of what the person is saying, and they don't get anything, they don't get everything, especially if there are several people talking at once. Okay, so that's all for today's video. If you like this video, then like the video, and if you are a new viewer, then subscribe to my channel to get more, to learn more. Okay, so thank you all. Tata.